What really happened? Was it planned? Was there a cover-up attempt? And was it legal? Inquiring minds want to know.
Hello everyone, this is Scott, KidPay72. Coming back at you one more time. Just wanted to show you guys something here. This is the IMUSA Grease Pot. I know everybody's been really big on the 10 centimeter and the 12 centimeter IMUSA mugs. I wasn't able to find those yet. However, at my local Target, in their aisle with all their IMUSA stuff, they happen to have this. This is the IMUSA Grease Pot.
Very similar. The handle itself came straight down.
It did come straight down here. I bent it in a little bit, as you can see. For me, it works a little bit better with everything that I have. That way I can fit it within other pots and stuff like that. This thing is really large. Although my hand is really large, you know, you can tell, I mean, it's a pretty good sized pot. It's probably not going to show up on here, but it actually says IMUSA on this. Here you go. Let's see. See if I can do this with this hand here. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Being that this is a grease pot, it came with this lid. The strainer in here. Okay, now I took and punched these holes all around the outer side of it. Everything else was already there. And what I did was I actually took some flashing that I use for windscreens, and I made myself a ring. And this ring is approximately 1 1/4 inch in height. Okay, fits in there just like so. Now, although this is beveled so that the strainer lid or catch lid, which, you know, it's just made to catch the larger lumps because it does have the little pour spout right here. What happens is that's made to catch your, you know, your larger clump stuff like that if you had to pour out your grease, your oil. However, if you take this lid just like so, I apologize, this can be rather difficult because I'm trying to do this one-handed. Like all aluminum, since it gives way just a little bit, you can kind of manipulate it. That dropped right in. I turned it upside down so that the little handle on it, which gave me the reference I needed for height-wise anyway, it sits right in the bottom. And by doing so, that of course becomes the pan you need for when you're dry baking, or even steam baking, either way. This works both ways, completely vented, and works awesome. As you've seen in my previous video, this is what I used, and I've only used it twice for baking, all within the same day. And of course this little guy works awesome. The greatest thing is, of course, with this having its own lid and everything working, I know there are those that are making lids for these guys and stuff like that. I just kind of find it, you know, a little out there to spend $7 on an IMUSA mug, which would be like the 12 centimeter, and then spend more than that for the lid. You know, not trying to take credit away from anybody on what they're doing or anything like that. You know, I commend those guys, and I'm, you know, I buy a lot of stuff from these guys. Just for what the mug is itself, you know, I can't spend more than what the mug itself costs. It just seems a little crazy to spend that kind of money for something like that. You know, it's not in my budget to be able to do something like that. So those guys are awesome. Don't want to take anything away from them, as I said before. I've tried to be a little frugal on what I'm spending my money on, especially right now, you know, when you're looking at holidays and stuff. And believe it or not, the only thing that is the exception to this pot would be the fact of the ring that I added. But the strainer lid, the fact this comes with its own lid, which I eventually will change this out because this is plastic. I'll put a wooden knob handle on this guy. This itself, and I must clarify, I understand that depending on where you live, prices are going to vary. But I bought this at my local Target, and just so you know, I live in California, one of the most expensive places to live. I bought this for $7.48. And I think that's an awesome deal. 748, and about 5 minutes of my time to make the modification to the strainer. And I ended up, you know, having something I can dry bake in. IMUSA Grease Pot.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.